I'm Sherman Edwards, and I'll be reading Large. It's Christmas Eve. Everyone's in the living room watching a movie, but like all kids, Sam has their eye on that tree and wants to get into those presents right now. No, Dad says. Just one? No, says Mom. Sam pouts. Well, if I can't open any gifts, I'm going to go to my room and play video games. No, you're not. You're going to stay out here, eat cake, and watch Nightmare Before Christmas with the rest of us. We already watched that movie. We've watched it several times. And we're going to watch it again next year. That's what traditions are for, Dad says, trying to verbally put a foot down. Sam counters. No, that's what traditions are. That's not what they're for. Every year on Christmas Eve, they watch A Nightmare Before Christmas. Sam used to love that movie. On Christmas Day, they watch Die Hard. Mom says it's not a Christmas movie, but Dad begs to differ. You think you're so smart, don't you, Dad says. Compared to the people around me? Very. What? Mom and Dad say, sensing the air in the room might be shifting. Sam retreats. Nothing. I'm going to my room. Dad, sit down. The air in the room has officially changed. Sam continues. Dad, I don't care what you want. As long as you... In unison, Sam joins in. Live in my house, you will follow my rules. Dad, go to your room. But you just said, go. That was not how the evening was intended. Sam goes to their room and considers jumping into a video game, but it didn't feel right at the moment, so they jumped on their phone instead. While sitting there in silence, a knock is heard from the door. Sam, it's your father. Sam thinks reconciliation seems fast, but this will help everyone move on with the rest of the day. Sam opens the door. What? Dad pushes through and heads for the TV. I forgot something. Dad starts unplugging the TV and video game system. Dad, no, what are you doing? You've lost all respect for your parents. When you find them, you can get these back. Dad sticks out his hand. Phone. Sam hears these words, but they're not making sense. Phone? Give it. Sam hands over the phone to Dad, who grabs it awkwardly while still holding on to Sam's TV and game system. He looks like he could drop and break everything with a tiny gust of wind, but he manages to leave the room with all three devices in his hands. Before he closes the door, he problematically uses his last remaining fingers to pull out a slim, rectangular object covered in wrapping paper from his pocket. You want a gift? Here's a gift. He tries to toss it on Sam's bed, but his hands are full of electronics, so he misses it, and he hits the floor. Sam starts picking it up from the ground, looking as sad and as orphan-y as possible. Dad backs down. I didn't mean to throw on the floor. I was aiming for your Sam's sitting back on the bed, reserved. Words have become cumbersome. Good night, Dad says, finally closing the door. Sam holds the gift, looking at it, wishing they had said thank you before Dad left. Whatever. There'll be time for apologies tomorrow. Looking back at the slim, rectangular shape of the gift, Sam's mind starts to wonder. Maybe he took my phone because this is a phone. Sam tears away at the paper only to find more paper. A notebook? What am I supposed to do with this? Sam inspects the failure of a gift. It's a simple notebook. Blank paper on the inside, a hard navy blue cover with the words Magic Notebook embossed in silver on the front, and an inscription on the inside. Who knows what this book can do? All its magic comes from you. Sam's livid. I hate this. Sam looks at the closed door and mutters, The Nightmare Before Christmas is about you. If this obvious attempt at a bad stocking stuffer was supposed to be Mom and Dad's olive branch, they have another thing coming. Sam throws the gift in the trash, has a moment of clarity, then goes back to grab it. Reaches for a pen, opens the notebook, and starts writing. I wish my parents never existed. Sam pauses. Not wanting to disappear into group photos, Sam draws a line through those first few words and wrote beneath it. I wish my parents were not around anymore. And that I'm big. No, large enough to play video games and open gifts whenever I want. Sam closes the notebook. It's been a long Christmas Eve, and Sam's ready to get this day over with, so they go to sleep hoping that Christmas will make everything better. Sam wakes up early. It's pretty common for kids to wake up early when they think they're about to open presents. Sam hops out of bed. Something's different. Christmas cheer, perhaps? While Sam heads to the bathroom for morning rituals, Sam internally plans their apology. Something short and sweet ought to do it. Then we can get back to the presents. As Sam walks up to the mirror, Sam notices that they don't look the way they're used to. Sam says, "What?" Sam's voice sounds a little different too. Sam's pretty book smart, but also has seen a lot of movies and quickly skips pedestrian possibilities. That notebook was really magic, and what I wrote in it came true. Sam looks back into the mirror. I'm old. My friends at school are going to flip when they see me. Sam suddenly remembers everything they wrote in the notebook, gasping. Mom, Dad. Someone enters the room. Babe? Oh, hey, babe, Sam instinctually says, even though they have no idea who they're talking to. What was that? Sam's playing it cool. Oh, it was just a thing I used to do, Mom and Dad. Sam starts to trail off, but the familiar stranger interrupts. They're still out on their walk. Sam momentarily loses their cool. How are we going to open presents? I thought y'all didn't open any presents on Christmas Eve. Oh, we did once when I was little. Christmas Eve? It was a real fish out of water scenario for a while, but somehow dots were starting to connect. The stranger was becoming more familiar with every word. Sam remembers their name, their pet name for each other, where they met. Sam didn't just become large enough to play video games. Sam has somehow jumped into their future self, where they're an adult and they can do whatever they want. Hey, babe, you want to get out of here, Sam says. But what about... Before they could finish, two small children run into the room. Are we going to open presents today, the kids asked. No. The kids get sad. Sam gives them the spin. Because we got plans today. You're going to watch a movie with Grandma and Grandpa. We've seen it, they say. But you love it, right? They agreed that they did. Okay, well, you're going to love watching it with Grandpa and Grandma. It's tradition. Just then, Sam's parents arrive. Good morning. Sam notices Mom and Dad have a few more lines on their face, and they move a little slower than they did before going to sleep. Mom, everyone's up so early you'd think it's already Christmas. Sam is unmoved. Watch the kids. We're going to go out. Dad, but we're going to watch Nightmare Before Christmas. Yes, you're going to watch it with the kids. Sam and Babe go out. Sam does all the things they wanted to do in the city, but couldn't before because Mom and Dad always stopped them. Driving a car, eating tons of fast food, watching a movie on Christmas Eve that's not Nightmare Before Christmas. Sam checks their phone and sees a few missed calls from Mom and Dad. What a great day. Being an adult's fun. Excitedly, Sam says, Hey, babe, when we get home, I want to go straight to bed. Oh, really? Yeah, Sam says. I want to get up early for Christmas. Oh, Babe's disappointed. When they get home, everyone's already asleep. Sam puts on some festive PJs and jumps in the bed. Good night. The morning sun shoots through the window, waking Sam up. There's a small ache in their back. Sam tries to get out of bed, but it's noticeably harder than usual. Sam moves slowly over to the bathroom mirror. I'm old. Thinking internally, this is what I look like, shouting, Mom, Dad. But they're not here anymore. What? What, babe? They're not here anymore. Stunned, but still wanting to play it cool. Yes. Yeah, I know. I don't think straight in the mornings. As Sam stares in the mirror and starts to remember everything, but mostly in this moment, all the times they were too busy to return a phone call or wanted to do anything other than spend time with Mom and Dad. Where are the kids? Sam inquires. They're in the city. They're going to hang out with friends. What? They're going to hang out with their friends and have an orphan Christmas or something like that. Sam's confused and sad because it's only been a couple of days, but it also feels like decades have gone by. Later that day, Sam goes into the living room and turns on the TV. They reach for the phone and try to call their kids. No answer. The only thing left to do is watch Nightmare Before Christmas. By the time it gets to the first song, Sam's already taken back with emotion. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, Halloween. Sam sings aloud while holding back tears. Babe, I didn't know you liked this movie. I do. I really do. They embrace. Before going to bed, Sam starts looking around for something they seem to have lost. What you doing, babe? Sam is answering. They come across a small, slim, rectangular object under the desk. The embossed silver lettering's faded a bit, but you can still make out the words "Magic Notebook" if you angle it right. Sam opens the notebook, takes a pen, and crosses out everything they had written. "This is a lot for a kid," Sam says to himself. "What, babe?" "Nothing. Good night." Sam gets into bed, but not without making a sound. With eyes heavy, Sam falls asleep, not even thinking about presents. Morning comes along, and along with the sun, Sam wakes up too. What's going to happen this time, Sam thinks to himself. Sam's ready for punishment. Sam gets out of bed without noticing how effortlessly they did it. "I feel pretty good today." Sam heads over to the bathroom mirror, and wouldn't you know it, they were a kid again. "I'm a kid again." Sam takes a pause and remembers, if I'm a kid again, then Mom, Dad. Sam runs into the living room. Mom and Dad are already sitting by the tree laughing and talking about adult things. "Okay, we have to be serious, at least for a second. I'm on it." Dad tries to put on a straight face to momentarily set the tone. Doesn't work. Doesn't matter. Sam runs in and tightly hugs them both, apologizing for all the mean things they said, and that they meant nothing, and that they loved them, and they'll never take them for granted, and they'll always be around, forever and ever. "This is a lot," Dad said. "Just make sure to return our calls." Another minute goes by, and Sam finally releases their group hug. "I will." Mom's observant. "This is the longest you've gone without digging into your presents. It's Christmas." Dad hands Sam a gift. "Here you go." "Thank you. After this, are we still watching Die Hard?" Dad looks at Mom. "Do you want to watch Die Hard?" Proudly, Sam says, "It's my favorite Christmas movie." Dad looks at Mom. "Don't say it." They open their presents. The end.